Welcome to NFL Playoff Special number 2. I'm Gage. He's Gage Emoji. I'm Emerson here.
There you go.
And it's Thirsty Thursday here on the Intoxicated Sports Report. Bear with us today because Gage and I are coming off one of the worst stomach illnesses I think we both have ever experienced.
The worst I can remember.
Yeah, the worst I can remember.
Unless I had one when I was a kid, and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, nasty stomach bug coming into the friend group. Not ideal. It was really bad. We're doing this on a Thursday. We usually don't do this on a Thursday.
Planned for Tuesday. Definitely wasn't going to happen on a Tuesday.
I didn't even go to work on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was puking. I'm not going to get into too much detail from pretty much 10 at night to 6 in the morning. Probably got 2 hours of sleep. Not doing great. Well, I'm doing better now. Yeah. Was not doing good then. Still feel repercussions though. It's just it feels like it's not going to end. I feel like I'm just getting sick with something else now.
Right.
Hope that's not the case. But I am back at work and it's nice, and it's nice to be here. I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to be here to do this. Thought we were going to do it remotely, but I thought to myself, I'm not going to get any more sick by being near you.
I've
already had this.
We're not going to fuck each other anymore.
I literally had to make sure with Devin. I'm like, so if I go over and see him, I'm not going to get this again, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, I'm not going to see you, my guy. I'm sorry.
I hope our immune systems tackled that one, at least for now.
Well, it tackled me.
Yeah.
It tackled me big time. But glad to be here. We're sipping on some Negronis. Cheers.
Yep, little stomach medicine.
I like that.
I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of these in France.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's a very well-renowned European cocktail, so.
And let me say, I'm glad that we got this out of the way before we went to Paris. And we're going in T-minus like a week and a half.
Yeah, 10 days.
It's coming up really quick.
10 days, one more episode before we leave.
Still doesn't feel real. It's not, like I said, it's not going to feel real until we're probably at the airport, on the airplane, in the air, and I'm like, wait, no, we can't come down.
Yeah.
There's no going back from here, so.
This plane is going that way.
Yeah, we're going this way. We're not. If we're coming down, it's not going to be the way we like. So we just got to stay clear on this.
Right.
A couple Jack and Cokes in the plane. Can't wait.
Yep.
It'll be like $15 a pop, whatever. It's like going to a ball game.
Fuck it.
No worries.
So for the camaraderie.
And we will have episodes. We've probably said this before, but we will have episodes in Paris.
At least one.
At least one.
Maybe two.
Maybe two. I mean, because the Super Bowl is going to happen in Paris.
Yeah.
And there's a big chance that your Niners are going to be in it.
Hey.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
It's in the realm of possibilities.
It's in the possibilities. So, just bear with us today. We appreciate the listens. Appreciate the watches.
Yes.
Or whoever watches us,
Yeah, we got a good turnout for the last episode, so. We kind of think maybe it's because people are anticipating another episode over the last couple of days, but we'll take it nonetheless.
Let's take it nonetheless. So, thank you. Cheers to you guys.
Yes, cheers. Right now we are watching a little NBA on TNT. Back-to-back weeks we're doing this. Last week it was Tuesday, but this week we got Phoenix and Dallas.
And you have not changed the channel on your TV because you are afraid to not get this channel back.
Yeah, Xfinity Stream and my TV are not friends at the moment, but they decided to, make a little joint effort to help me out last week.
And you have a Fubo account
that
I am on, I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But Fubo doesn't have TNT or TBS.
Correct. Which are
Turner.
Same network, yeah.
Which is very annoying, but, TNT's like, we want our own money.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it.
TNT's a key sports channel.
It is.
TBS as well. They got baseball playoffs.
And does TNT have hockey now too?
TNT has hockey now as well.
I mean,
they're going to get the Stanley Cup every other year.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's huge.
For like a 7-year run.
Well, it used to be on NBC, didn't it?
NBC just backed out, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. NHL and NBC split.
So was it NBC like the Super Bowl's on NBC, like Channel 3 for people who never grew up with HD?
Right.
So hear me out. If it's on TNT, and I think the reason why the Super Bowl is on channels like Fox, CBS, and NBC because people who can't afford or don't have high cable like ESPN.
Well, and it's like appointment TV as well.
But I'm getting at, I think because they do that so they have as many viewers as they possibly can. And I think with the Stanley Cup being on TNT, it's going to hurt them because a lot of people
I agree.
aren't going to be able just to casually watch it. Because the people who are actually fans are going to have these channels anyways.
Right.
But the casual fan, I'm more than a casual fan. But I wouldn't find myself getting TNT for the year just to have the Stanley Cup. So I think that could hurt the NHL. I think the NHL is trying their best to expand, but they're always going to be a little brother to not only the NBA, MLB, and of course, football.
Yeah.
Like I would say the MLB and NBA are further along in viewage than the NHL.
Absolutely. Well, the only
At least
thing
in the United States.
Yeah. I would be hard pressed to think that there's a TV package out there that would have all the regular channels but not TNT nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Speaking, I mean, if you were talking about this 15 years ago, you'd have an argument.
Because I remember, because we had basic cable back at the Pine Street house, and you would get 2 through, it was like 30, like you wouldn't get TNT.
Yeah,
you would just miss like channel 37, 38, 39, which is TNT, ESPN, like ESPN2.
Yeah.
You get like you go to like channel 30,
Yeah.
and it would cut you off because you wouldn't get like the main channels.
TV's in a whole nother.
It's different. It's different now. Yeah. Now you got like, Fubo, like I said, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Now it does kind of come down to like if you want it, you can get it, but you have to want it.
Exactly. So, but TNT, like you said, it's a major sports package. You have to have it.
Can't miss it if you like sports.
It wouldn't shock me if in the future TNT somehow squeezed out a couple NFL games in there.
Yeah, maybe.
In the future.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, the only thing is they are a partner of CBS, so they may not ever need to. Yeah.
And TNT also does baseball. Or playoff baseball?
TBS does.
TBS.
Yeah, TNT I don't think ever does baseball.
I guess I just think because Ernie Johnson will call some of the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is on TBS. You're right.
Okay. So yes, this is another playoff special. So we are going to be dialed in on football. We do have a couple other notes, non-football related, near the end of the show. But nonetheless, are you ready to get into a little divisional round recap?
Not really, but yeah, that's it.
We'll go chronological again. We'll save you a little time before you have to go through your misery again.
Thank you.
The first game of the weekend was Chiefs and Jaguars. Chiefs pulled it out 27-20. Mahomes did injure his ankle, leg, whatever you want to call it, in the second quarter of the game.
High ankle sprain.
But Chad Henne came in for the end of the first half rather, led a touchdown drive.
And we've seen him do this before in this situation. I think against the Browns 2 or 3 years ago.
That's right.
And I think I want to say Mahomes was out for the rest of the game in that game, and there was a critical fourth down that Chad Henne threw to Tyreek Hill.
Yes,
and they got it, and then that pretty much won them the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Chad Henne.
He's an old man now. It's kind of funny.
He's old, but he's been in the situation, and Andy Reid has trusted him clearly because he's still been on the team for this long.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely he's not keeping him on the roster for his skill set. He's keeping him on the roster for his knowledge of the offense.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes did come back for the second half. Finished the game 22 out of 30, 195 yards, a couple TDs. Chiefs were kind of in control of this game for the most part. Jags would score to make it a one-score game, and then Chiefs would extend the lead once again.
But when Mahomes went down, you got to think like the Jags. You never know.
Right? Yeah. Because I believe it was still a one-score game.
Which would have been for us in hindsight at the time. You're thinking like, oh man, Mahomes ain't playing the Super Bowl. One of our teams has got a big chance to win it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That definitely would have changed the landscape going forward. But yeah, he came back. Was definitely hobbling around a lot in the second half, but muscled through it.
He's a gamer though, man. Cause I listened to it on the radio, so I wasn't able to see his reaction and all that. But what I saw later was that he really wanted to come back in.
Yeah.
Was actually really mad that he had to go out.
Yeah.
And they taped that thing up really nice, and he was hobbling around. And Nick Wright, we all know who Nick Wright is. So I would think everybody listening. Huge Chiefs guy. He's on First Things First, which I think is a good show.
I actually don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I think he's annoying. I could understand why maybe someone like you wouldn't like him because he was really annoying during the Cavs Warriors finals runs.
He was very.
Because he loves LeBron James.
Yeah.
And he's one of those LeBron over Jordan GOAT type things, and that's fine. But he was saying how the 3 best quarterbacks in the league right now are Mahomes, Burrow, and then Mahomes on one leg. That's such a Nick Wright thing to say. And I just thought that was funny. But even Mahomes on one leg, he's scary.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And for some reason, let me tell you, the Jags, for some reason, we're like, what? We're not going to guard number 87 on the Chiefs today.
Yeah. That didn't really work out.
Travis Kelce had 14 receptions, 17 targets, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Have a day.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Famer,
and
have a day.
10 of those receptions in the first half.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. 10 catches in one half.
What's worse? Real quick, what's worse for you? the Jags coverage on him the first half, or their white and black uniforms that they had on, the white tops, black pants.
I don't mind the uniforms.
You don't?
Nah, their coverage on Kelsey for sure.
It's too like Penguin vibes for me. It's a little weird.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think they need to ditch teal as a color altogether. It just does for me. It doesn't work for them. Like I know I'm a Sharks fan, and that teal is their color. And I don't like what they did with the uniform this year with too much teal. But nonetheless, they pull it off better than the Jags do.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the teal for the Jags. I'm not a huge fan of the number font that they have. It's a little weird.
A little blocky.
It's like too
big.
Two Oregon Ducks. Like you know how Oregon has it now.
Yeah, it is big.
Same
Yeah,
kind
you're
of
right.
Same
You're right.
kind of. It's a little too big for me.
Yeah. And there's no outline on the numbers, so there's no like contrast of colors.
No,
just
it's
white,
just
on,
white or black
on teal. Yeah.
So, or is it? Yeah, it's something like that.
Oh, when they wear those teal uniforms, yeah. Nice day for Isaiah Pacheco on the ground, 12 carries for 95 yards. Tough day for our boy Tila. I mean, he was moving the ball a little bit, but they got a little stagnant at times as well. He finished 24 out of 39, only 217 yards, one touchdown, one pick.
His first loss
on a Saturday.
On a Saturday in his high school, college, and NFL career.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
They're going to be fine. The Jags.
Yeah, they're on the right trajectory for sure.
Keep Dougie P. You guys will be fine.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is only going to get better. He had. If you look at the numbers, the interception numbers, the last two games for him were not good.
Right.
Won the first game miraculously.
Right.
And in this game, a lot of people, I don't think either of us thought that the Jags really had a realistic shot of winning this game.
The fact that they kept it interesting was good for them, I think.
And I think the only way that I would have thought they would have won this game is because of an injury.
Right.
To someone like Mahomes or Kelsey, maybe Pacheco, something like that.
Yeah.
No, not Pacheco, more like Mahomes or Kelsey.
Yeah.
But you got to give it to the Jags, man.
They played well. Yeah.
You called it. You called playoffs. Congratulations. Just beating Mahomes at Arrowhead, unless you're Joe Burrowhead, it's tough.
Stop it.
It's tough.
Hurts to laugh. And the Jags were moving the ball pretty well on the ground too. They ran for 144.
Oh, okay.
But just not enough. And they were playing from behind for a lot of the game, which didn't help. And the huge dagger was that fumble inside the 10-yard line by Agnew, late in the game. That was tough.
Yeah. I gotta say, listening to the game on the radio, I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that at work, especially.
Doesn't do the same.
It's just tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Listening to baseball on the radio is a little easier. It's slower. You hear the pitch.
Right.
The pace is a lot slower.
Yeah.
Football.
And the action is much easier to describe, I think, in baseball than football.
You got curveball inside or fastball outside.
Or a high drive to right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you're seeing.
Exactly. So it's cool that I'm able to do that. But it's also like, I wish I could watch it on my phone, but I don't want to be like a total dick at work.
Right.
You know what I mean? my bosses would probably understand, like, this guy, he's a footballer, he's a football guy. But listening to the radio is okay. Because if I watched it on my phone, I wouldn't do my work.
Right.
If I hear it, it's different. Because I know I wouldn't pay attention.
So, Chiefs move on. Next game on Saturday was the Eagles-Giants. This was an absolute rout. 38-17, Eagles pulled it off. They were up 28-0 at halftime. It was pretty much over already. Jalen Hurts was in form. 3 touchdowns all in the first half.
I know the Giants, they played a fraud Vikings team, which you said were frauds all season. And I don't think I ever disagreed with you on that.
No, you didn't necessarily disagree.
I don't think I ever disagreed with you on that.
You just gave him too much credit.
Yeah, I guess. I'll give you that. Hey, the GFP is the GFP. Okay.
GFP.
The Eagles made light work of the Giants. This was for the Giants. This was a joke.
Yeah, the Eagles had at least their B+ game on, and the Giants came out with nothing.
No.
Yeah.
The game against the Vikings, it was Daniel Jones. Oh, they got to extend this guy.
Yeah, I know.
Like he's actually the future. The head coach, I forget his name, has figured it out. He's the guru. And after this, it's like, dude, they got to get rid of Daniel Jones.
I think this is about his ceiling, getting to the second round of the playoffs.
And let me tell you, Giants fans, you don't like the ceiling being the second round. No. It gets old real fast. Let me tell you.
And especially when you got recent history with Eli. So, and how many Super Bowls do they have overall? Just 3 or 4?
4.
Something like that.
2 with Eli, and I think they won 2 with Phil Simms.
Did
Or
Phil get 2?
Jeff Hostetler, maybe?
I don't know.
Where's he on the Bills? I think they have 4.
So yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I like some of the things that Daniel Jones can do, but I just don't trust him purely as a passer of the ball.
He's just, and I hate saying the term "that guy." You know, I was texting Scott about quarterbacks being that guy because I was bitter about Dak Prescott not being him. And Scott was like, "Well, who's him?" He's like Mahomes, Burrow. And I said, "Yeah, probably Josh Allen too." Well, I know.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, but that's not the point.
Right.
But, you know, who could the Cowboys get besides Dak Prescott? Who could be better? I mean, maybe an old Aaron Rodgers, old Tom Brady, maybe Lamar Jackson. But who could the Giants get that's better than Daniel Jones right now? Maybe
Probably a lot more than the Cowboys.
You think so?
Yeah. I would take Dak over Daniel Jones any day of the week. I know he had his turnover issues this year, but that hasn't always been his problem.
No. It actually was like the one thing that you tip his cap.
Yeah.
Like he never turned the ball over.
Yeah, maybe he was not, as aggressive as he would want him to be.
Now all of a sudden he's Matthew Stafford circa Lions.
Right.
This is the kind of game from the Eagles that makes me legitimately think that they could not, maybe not, I'm not gonna say handle because I respect the Niners, but I think they could beat the Niners.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think it's 100% on the table.
They are a deserved favorite for sure.
But it's not like a huge favorite. They're not a huge favorite.
No,
in the game.
but they're a deserved favorite.
They just made. I mean, the Giants aren't the Niners on the defensive side. They're not. They wish.
No.
And the Eagles made it look really easy. I don't think the Eagles will win if they win the game. They're not going to win 38-7. I would be shocked. I would be shocked. Unless the Niners choose to have the one stinker in the last 4 months that they play football.
Right.
Or 3 months they play football. It just you see the offense with Jalen Hurts, and it just looked easy.
Right.
It looked extremely easy.
I mean, they played like they did in the first half of the season.
It was like they were going through the motions.
Yeah.
It was almost like I was watching varsity versus JV.
It was absolute cruise control, and they just kept handing the ball off in the second half, and it was still working.
And the Giants, and I'm not trying to throw any shade at the team, but I think anybody who watched that game would probably say the similar thing that I just said.
Yeah.
They're all pros.
Yeah.
They could beat me on any kind of 40 anytime they want.
Right.
Maybe not drinking one, but maybe on the side on the field. But they made it. It wasn't pretty. And the Giants, sayonara. You made the Cowboys look good this week, let me say. So.
Gauge what happened on Sunday.
Sunday, the Bengals and the Buffalo Bills played. Bengals beat them 27-10. It was 14-0. It was 14-0 Bengals after the first quarter. Buffalo only had 8 yards of offense in the first quarter.
Oh yeah, I guess you were in the shower when I came over. They had a rough first quarter.
I mean, I was watching some of the game, but I didn't realize it was that bad.
They went 3 and out on the first 2 drives, and then right before the quarter ended, they got a sack that went -3.
Josh Allen went 25 for 42 with 265 yards passing, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 interception. Stephon Diggs with just 4 receptions, 38 yards, nothing good.
He was not happy with Josh Allen on the sidelines either.
The 2 running backs, Singletary and Cook, just 11 carries for 37 yards.
That's the thing with this team is they're so Josh Allen dependent. Mm-hmm. And Josh Allen, as good as he is, he's not Mahomes or Burrow like we talked about. And they need to have a more balanced attack if they're gonna win anything.
Or is it on the head coach? Is it the team? They are Josh Allen heavy.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
And I think since losing Dable after he left for the Giants, they're just like, it's like every play is drop back, Josh. Guys will run some routes and go make a play, Josh. Mm-hmm. See what happens. It's just no like fluidity, no rhythm at all. It's just see what you can do. You're our best player. Go for it.
And talk about rhythm, the Bengals had it that day, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow, our boy, went 23 for 36, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not really wow on the stat sheet, but it was snowing.
But nice and efficient, just dinking and dunking down the field, just doing what he does. It was a Tom Brady type day.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I hate to make those kind of comparisons, but that's exactly what it looked like.
Joe Mixon, 20 carries. That's a lot.
He had a nice day. Yeah.
105 yards, 1 touchdown. He was my fantasy running back all season. Yeah. So shout out to Joe Mixon.
And Joe Mixon was also not very happy about those AFC Championship game tickets being sold before this game was played.
Yeah. I forget, what was Joe Burrow? What did he say? He's like, you better get those people
Like,
refunds.
get those refunds ready.
I mean, Joe Burrow. I feel like I go on a tangent about this guy every week. But he is just.
He's awesome.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He is just. And we're gonna get into it because you got some questions about it later, which I love the question. But he's the system. He is the system.
Well, it's definitely it's a very well balanced offense when you look at it as a whole, but he complements it so perfectly. I mean, you got a very nice running back in Joe Mixon, one of the top,
Yeah.
at least like 6 or 8 off the top of the head.
Nothing. He's not like the first guy you pick in a fantasy draft.
Not necessarily, yeah, but he's definitely effective. And then you got 3 really good receivers too, and their offensive line has not been known as being great, but they got the quick passing game that they can go to, which they went to a lot in this game. And, Jamar Chase can hit him over the top like it's nothing as well.
Joe and Jamar,
Nice.
it's the college thing, and they got to pay both these guys soon, so they better hope they can get a Super Bowl this year.
No doubt, yeah.
They felt like they probably should have had one last year, and they were close. I forget how close that game was last year, by the way, versus the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
The Rams
now they had the ball with the,
Well, the Rams scored the go-ahead touchdown with, like a minute left?
Yeah.
So they were this close.
Yeah.
And you didn't think the Bengals would do shit this year, by the way.
I
hope
was
you
down on
didn't
them.
forget that.
Yeah, I was down on them, but hey.
So the Bengals, they got a big game coming up. A big game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
It's gonna be serious.
I feel like the line for that game has been going up and down.
It's been crazy. We'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, that has been funny to watch.
Joe Burrow is just It's almost like, do people doubt that he wouldn't play like this in the NFL after what he did at LSU? It's like, why am I not surprised? After the one season that he had at LSU, which was arguably probably the best quarterback season of all time.
Right.
And I know it's a different game. I know he still played in the SEC, but it is a different game.
Yeah.
Going from college to NFL. But how do we think that he wasn't going to be this badass in the NFL?
I feel like maybe it's just because it looked too easy at LSU, and like they just
And that he was going to the Bengals, who had the worst record.
that too. Like that's also a factor, and they weren't good his first year, and he of course got hurt. But
Towards ACL.
yeah,
I don't. Do we know what their record was up until that point?
I don't think they were winning many games.
Do we remember if it was early in the season? Because I don't remember.
It was first half of the season, I would say, maybe right in the middle. But yeah, Bengals are they're building a little dynasty right now.
Going back-to-back AFC championships, just like the team we're about to talk about, your 49ers beat my Dallas Cowboys. Not a whole lot. The Niners beat my Dallas Cowboys 19-12. Kind of almost a scoregami type score. Kind of weird.
Yeah, not your typical score, you see.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Dylan and Katie for hosting this
that was
event
fun.
for us. They were very kind, letting my dad come with me and my dad's friend, or our friend Joey.
Yeah.
Cool kid.
Yeah.
My dad's coworker. It was a good time. It was nice. I for some reason was expecting more people to be there, but I'm glad there wasn't. If that makes
It would
sense.
have been too crowded.
It was just the right amount. It was the perfect amount of people.
I agree.
Everybody who needed to be there was there.
Yeah, I agree.
So thank you once again. It was great. The final outcome, like I said, wasn't great for me. But this was, a defensive battle.
Yeah, it really was.
Niners only had 312 yards of offense, and the Cowboys had 282 yards. It was 9-6 Niners at half.
Kind of a weird first half, too.
Yeah, Dak had both of his picks in the first half. He finished 23 for 37, 206 yards, 1 touchdown.
Not terribly efficient.
Pollard injured his leg late in the first half.
That was an important injury, I think.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, and I don't think I had ever talked to you about this, but so about this time last week, there was a Dallas radio host, or it was kind of like a radio show, like kind of a KMBR type thing.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about how all of a sudden Christian McCaffrey gets traded to the Niners and he's not injury prone anymore. So that's kind of been his thing.
Right.
And what the guys on the show were literally said, "Oh, we could use an injury." And the guy's like, "Yeah." Like
I think I did.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, like a hamstring."
Yeah, I did hear about
So if that's not karma for those guys, and I'm not even gonna say all Cowboys fans, just those guys for saying that, and Tony Pollard breaks his leg, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
But that is Bush League to say. Were they being sarcastic about it? I'd hope so.
Right.
Make them look somewhat better.
Yeah.
But you can't be saying that about some guy. I don't like the 49ers probably more than anybody in the world. But I'm not going to wish... I want to beat them at their best. And I'm not going to wish any kind of injury on anybody. I just don't. Even jokingly, maybe I've done it before, but
Right.
I think if I were to say that to you, you would know I'm joking. And I'd probably
Yeah.
say that I'm joking.
Right.
That's karma, and it's almost like the Cowboys deserve that. It really sucks for Tony Pollard because he's coming off a Pro Bowl year. He's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, that's also a big factor.
And the Cowboys are going to need this guy because, Zeke Elliott, I don't
Your boy, 10 for 26.
Yeah, snap the ball at the end of the game for some strange reason. I don't even know. what
That
happened
was
there.
a bonehead call.
I don't really get that. So yeah, Zeke, he had 10 carries, 26 yards. His longest run was 5. This man is cooked. Get him off my team, the team, whatever you want to call it. He is done. He's been done for about 4 years now. Jerry Jones, you have way too much pride. Like, oh, he's one of my boys. I drafted him. 3rd pick, 4th pick, I forget which one it was. You should have drafted Jalen Ramsey.
I think the scary thing for Cowboys fans is that he is way too attached to Deke and Zach. Deke and Zach. Zach and Deke. Zach and Deke. Dak and Zeke.
I would only be okay with Zeke coming back, only doing this role, is if he takes a pay cut, and I've heard that he might be willing to do that.
Which is that still worth it? It's hard to say. I mean, I don't know what it would cost to cut him, but
Get him off the team. Draft this running back I keep hearing about out of Texas late in the draft. I think he might be there. Jerry Jones loves drafting his running back, so I know he'll be licking his chops thinking about it.
Bijan Robinson.
CD had a good game.
He was the only guy that killed the Niners, really.
10 receptions, 117 yards. He had that really nice 50-yard pass when the Cowboys were at their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, he caught it over the top.
Caught over the top with the PI call.
Yeah.
It was probably the most impressive play of the game for the
It
Cowboys.
really was, yeah. It was the most impressive play of the game in total.
Because it was a defensive game. I really, going into the game, I didn't think the Cowboys were going to win this game.
Yeah, fair.
Given their history in the divisional round, and given the fact the Niners are just quite frankly a better coach team and a better team overall. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna be that kind of guy. But people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I thought the Cowboys played a pretty good game.
Defensively, absolutely.
Defensively.
They made their mistakes on offense, of course. But
Clearly, Dak Prescott throwing 2 picks was the difference. And let's say Dak doesn't throw those 2 picks, and let's say those are 2. Let's say it's a touchdown and a field goal.
yeah,
They win the game.
right.
So that's tough.
I mean, like I have this written down. Their mistakes were directly related to points. You could argue. Dak throwing the early pick in his own territory, that was an automatic field goal for the Niners. Mm-hmm. The block extra point, that's another point off the board.
Wasn't that just?
Yeah, he was going to miss it too, anyways. You could tell that thing was a sidewinder.
So, and I remember saying at the time, I think for his psyche, it's better that they blocked it rather than him just miss it on its own. So, if I'm Brett Maher, I'm like, I'll take that one.
Right. Then of course Dak throwing the pick late in the first half in the red zone. That could have been at least three for the Cowboys. And then that defensive holding on the Niners touchdown drive that extended the drive up was on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
That eventually led to a touchdown. So it's at least another 4 points that the Niners would have gotten.
So, I thought it was a good game for the Cowboys on the defensive side.
Yeah.
I think, given the Cowboys' history in the playoffs since I've practically been born, I don't think this season as a whole, and of course it was, we're not happy with the outcome. You always want a Super Bowl, at least an NFC Championship. I think I was screaming that. I think I was screaming that from the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
at
if
least
you can get to the Final Four,
At
that's
least make
pretty
it to
good.
the title game for the first time in what is now going to be 28 years.
Right.
But I gotta say, them just making it to the divisional round is, for their standards, it's good. So I think it was a good season. Clearly, it's not how we want it to end. But I gotta give it to them. You lost to a superior team, and you played them pretty well. I thought. This is a Niner team that's been rolling teams for the last 12 weeks, 13 weeks.
Right.
And yeah, they haven't played good defenses or good teams really. But you can only play players in front of you. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
And so for the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm sad. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's the Niners. But overall, I'll say this was an okay season. There's still more that we can grow upon. And hopefully we can try to at least make it to this point or the championship game. I'm not even going to, unless I see some real changes, I might have to give up the Super Bowl title. Even as a joke. It's it ain't going to happen, man.
Sometimes you just gotta be cautiously optimistic and let things happen how they may.
So I got some Cowboy nuts for you.
Oh boy.
So, This is their 7th straight divisional round loss. Most by any team since 1970, since the merger. 12 straight playoff appearance without a conference title appearance.
Jeez.
That's bad. And like I said, it'll be 28 years since their last title appearance. Dak Prescott and Tony Romo now have the same playoff record, 2-4, and they're both 0-3 in the divisional round. It's just weird. Isn't it just kind of weird? I'll always say Dak Prescott saved the franchise. I do think that he saved the Cowboys from going in turmoil after the Tony Romo injury.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least maybe not.
At the time, he did.
Maybe, I mean, the Cowboys from Romo to Dak never really went down.
Right. Yeah.
Really
They kept it from.
They kept it
from going under.
exactly. And it just sucks. Being a Cowboys fan's hard. It's really hard. I've rooted for a long time for this team. I really feel like I deserve at least a
meaningful game.
at least a championship appearance.
Yeah.
At least. And losing to the Niners back-to-back years, it's in the playoffs. It's really hard, man. It's really hard. I know you love it. And,
It's beautiful.
You know, it's fun to it's nice to be able to watch it with you guys and have that whole experience. But we're gonna go to the game. I really hope we do. Regular season game. And I hope the Cowboys can at least win that game. Make me feel a little better. Like, yeah, it's not the playoffs, but damn, we won this game.
That'll be some justice for you guys. We'll give you that one.
Yeah. So a little news on your Niners. Your boy Big Cock Brock went 19 for 29, 214 yards.
Kind of pedestrian, but not a bad game.
Hey, he kind of had his Joe Burrow day.
Yeah.
Just did what he had to do.
Yeah.
George Kittle, 5 receptions, 95 yards.
Probably the player of the game for the Niners, I would say.
I think actually, the play of the game was not the CeeDee Lamb catch. It was
his juggling
It was
catch down the
the
middle.
juggling Bob catch that Trevon Diggs should have gave him the shoulder,
Right,
but
he
the dude's
whiffed.
softer than continental tissue. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And this is the 6th time in 12 years that your Niners have made it to the title game?
It's crazy. We've been very fortunate as fans.
Dude.
Not fully fortunate, but very.
Yeah, you haven't made it to the pinnacle. Well,
Yeah.
you have not won the pinnacle.
Correct.
But is it time to give Jed York some respect? This is coming from a guy whose
York.
fantasy football name was Fuck Jed York for I don't know if it was just one season or two.
At
or
least
3.
at least one, maybe two.
You haven't given this guy any respect?
Nah,
Dude, I would kill to have someone. Is it the owner?
He's
York's
the team principal, team president, whatever you want to
I
call it.
would kill for this kind of success in the last 12 years.
He's still a puss.
Okay.
It's more about John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan putting
Well-
together a squad.
Okay. 6 times in 12 years, half of the years. It's pretty good.
Because let's not forget that Jed York did fire Jim Harbaugh and then proceeded to hire Jim Tom Sula and then Chip Kelly.
Okay, that's fair. But now you have the genius that is Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan. Sorry.
Mike Shanahan Jr.
So what do you got to say? I talked a lot right there. What do you got to say about your Niners?
It wasn't like the prettiest game we've ever seen the Niners play, but
It was
in the
just,
playoffs, a win is a win. You know,
it was gritty.
it was gritty. It was a good hard-nosed football game.
Shout out Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, yeah, right. Good hard-nosed football game. Both defenses came to play. I actually think, given that the Niners didn't play that smoothly on offense, we're kind of fortunate to get out of there with a W. But the defense played well. Got a little fortunate with some mistakes by your boy Dak, of course.
Yep.
But
That's the usual.
yeah, we'll take the W and move it along.
Let me tell you, I am very happy I did not spend an obscene amount of money for tickets. For this
Oh
game.
yeah.
It still would have been fun, but I would have cried. That would have been sad. I would have been next to Devin like she was like we were on the couch and she was just arm over the shoulder like hugging me.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for the championship game.
How could you not be?
It's another one, as DJ Khaled said.
3rd and 4 years too.
3rd and 4 years.
Third
Yeah.
and 4 years.
Yeah.
So you guys whooped the Packers 3 years ago.
Yep. Came up
Obviously.
just short against the Rams last year.
Just short. You guys had what 10-point lead. Before the
That's
quarter.
also tough one to swallow.
And then
Although we're gonna talk about the championship preview here in a little bit, but do you feel like this Niners team is far better than last year's Niners team?
McCaffrey helps.
Yep.
McCaffrey certainly helps. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game.
I'm excited.
I'm wearing my Eagle colored pants today. Fly Eagles fly.
Gage, shall we talk about player of the week? Do you have one?
I don't have it written down, but I can think one on top of my head. Gotta go Joe Burrow in Buffalo.
That's a good one. I was thinking maybe you'd go Travis Kelce, but
Okay.
Joe Burrow's a good one.
Yeah. I wanted to give it to Tony Pollard, just based off the season that he had for the Cowboys.
He did have a good year.
Sucks that you got to lose like that, but I'll give it to Joe Burrow.
I'm going to go with John Lynch. Did you see the speed that he put on display going from his press box to the sideline in about 60 seconds?
I did.
Just kidding. I'm going to give it to Samson Ebukam, Niners defensive end, if you will. Had the block extra point, had a sack, had 2 QB hits in the game.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah. Take it.
What's going on with your who's that defensive guy in the Niners who got
Oh, Charles Omenihu. He got arrested for suspicion of domestic assault.
Not good.
Not good, but he's going to play this weekend.
Of course he is.
Yeah. That's just how the NFL works.
Gotta let the
But it's
legal,
only suspicion.
gotta let the legal process
Yes.
work itself out, right?
Due process, as Jim Harbaugh always said. Due process.
Due process.
As all of his guys on his team were fucking suspects.
Right. So another good year. Well, not a good year, but another good playoff matchup. Better than last year's playoff matchup against the Cowboys versus the Cowboys and Niners.
Yeah, last year's game did
Well,
come
for you-
down to it at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. But this game felt closer.
It was tight. It was a lot tighter. Yes, you're
The
right.
Cowboys came out in that game last year and they were
Flat.
shell shocked.
Yeah.
It was just like they weren't ready.
Then they mounted a little bit of a comeback, and of course had the. That's the end of the game.
Which Murph and Mac end their show with that call every day.
Of course they.
I have
do.
to hear that.
Of course they do.
I have to do that about 5 times a week. Every week.
It's pretty legendary call.
It's funny. It's funny for sure.
That's the end of the game.
That's the end of the game.
Classic. Okay, conference championship preview. Niners, Eagles. Gage, I got some numbers for you.
Tell me.
So, we got some pretty good running games on display coming up this week between the Niners and Eagles. Also, some pretty good defenses as well. Niners had the second best run defense in the league this year. Eagles 16th. That was maybe their weakness on defense, but they got a good defense. Excuse me, overall.
I can tell you they're going to sack the box this weekend.
Yes,
Or at least
they're going to make Brock Purdy earn it,
they
Yeah.
have to.
and the running game for that matter.
They have to.
49ers had a good rushing offense, 8th in the league this year at 138 yards a game. Eagles number 5 though at 147 a game. So it's kind of a battle of strength for strength. Who do you think rushes for more yards in this game?
What does my heart say? Well, like my heart tells me the Niners will win this game because they don't lose games apparently anymore.
Also, the Eagles are coming off a 268-yard game against the Giants. I know it's a different defense, but that's a healthy number.
I think this is a trick question because I'm forgetting about the Jalen Hurts aspect. He's going to probably run it at least 10 times.
They're gonna use his legs.
Whether it's designed or not. Who has the most rush yards? Man, I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go Niners. I hate to say it. Even though McCaffrey and Debo both,
They're both factors, yeah.
But
But
they're
it's
both-
not just running backs.
but McCaffrey got not hurt bad, but he was
Yeah.
a little not injured. But
He hasn't practiced, I don't think, at all this week.
And I think Debo had a little ankle problem too, but I think he practiced this week. I'll say the Niners, but I don't think that'll be the difference.
Fair enough. Any keys to victory for either team, you feel like?
Key to victory for the Niners, I think, will be the running game. I think that'll be the key to the victory for them if they win. I think for the Eagles, it's going to be all on Jalen Hurts making plays just overall.
Yeah. I think that's
I
right.
really think so. And the offensive line for the Eagles, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
But so is the Niners defense. It's going to be it's like I said last week, the offensive line, defensive line.
Strength on strength, yeah. I think the Eagles are just so loaded everywhere, and not that the Niners aren't, but Jalen Hurts is, I think, clearly the better quarterback. More established, anyways, even though he's still young. But yeah, I think if the Niners don't establish the run, they're fucked. The Niners, I think, also need to win the turnover battle. They can't afford to lose that.
And Jalen Hurts does not turn the ball over that much.
Right.
Which is, so that'd be a
So
tough task.
if even though the Niners are great, I feel like they need to play a perfect game. Being on the road, having a rookie quarterback. I mean, that's a hostile environment for a young player to go into.
Rookie starting quarterbacks going into the championship game are 0-4.
Exactly. Never played in the Super Bowl. So that's why I think everything's going to have to go right for the 49ers. As good as they are.
And you're playing in Philly.
In Philly, yeah. It's not.
I've heard it's loud, and I've heard they're mean.
It's going to be cold, too. It's not going to be nice.
But it's not going to be raining or anything.
No, I don't think it's going to be now. But those hits are going to hurt just a little bit more, though.
Yeah. It's like, will the legend grow Brock Purdy, or will the legend of Jalen Hurts grow?
Right. Also, Philly's led the league in sacks by like a large margin this year, which scares me. Because we've seen Brock get a little flustered when he gets pressured.
Yeah.
So the pressure's going to be there. So I think Trent Williams doing his part. I mean, he shut down Micah Parsons pretty well. But
Trent Williams,
but he's only one part of the offensive line. The rest of the offensive line is
he's
middle.
like Andre the Giant.
He's a monster.
Huge.
And relatively athletic for his size, too. Ready for a beer?
Yes. That liquor got me feeling a little better.
There you go.
If you want, take a little. Let's do this. Are you scared for this game? Are you worried? Or,
I mean,
like, what's your confidence level 1 to 10 on the Niners?
I don't think the Niners are going to win.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not that I don't believe they can win. It's just it kind of feels like it could be end of the road for this, kind of miracle-esque run, if you will, with, your 7th round rookie quarterback. It feels like we're there, and I also kind of feel like it's a nothing to lose situation as well for the 49ers.
I think you guys are playing with house money.
A little bit, yeah.
I thought the Cowboys last week were playing with house money. I think this week you guys are playing with house money.
I agree. I mean, if we get blown out, I'll be a little bummed, but
I don't think. I mean, if you guys got blown out, you guys haven't gotten blown out since the Chiefs game.
it could be. I could find it to be one of those situations where if
you see it being like 31 to like 20.
Like if the Eagles get the run game going, like it could be a really rough day for the 49ers defense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's their biggest strength is defending the run, but
let's not forget about their 2 wide receivers. We haven't mentioned them. Dallas Goedert's nice, their tight end.
Yeah,
you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Great duo. Jalen Hurts is not afraid to throw it to them.
No, I think the Eagles should feel pretty comfortable going into this game.
Well, anytime you're at home, and the fact that the Eagles played on a Saturday, it's kind of like how the Cowboys and Niners were last week. Niners played on a Saturday, Cowboys played on a Sunday. This week, Eagles played on a Saturday, Niners played on a Sunday. Niners had to travel to Philly.
Right.
And I know these guys are professionals, and what's a day mean? I'm sure it doesn't mean much when you're in a tip-top shape.
Right.
But I think it means a little bit. It has to.
I'm not too worried about a Sunday to a Sunday when it's an extra day for another team. Like, the Cowboys were in a rough spot going Monday to a Sunday after the Niners were going Saturday to a Sunday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Cowboys did play Monday.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
But also, at the same time, it wasn't a huge factor. It was a little overstated.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to Philly, going across the country, it's not going to be easy. I don't know. It's
that place is going to be jumping.
If Christian McCaffrey, I think it's going to be a McCaffrey day. Like he's going to have to go off, make a big play, for this team to have a chance. Could be tough sledding for the boys. Let's talk about the Bengals and Chiefs. Okay, so I think it's pretty fair to say Burrow and Mahomes are your 2 best quarterbacks in the league right now.
They want it to be Allen Mahomes, but yeah, it's Burrow.
It's not Josh Allen. Let's just sorry, Devin. Let's be real though.
No, yeah, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the 2 top guys in the AFC and probably the 2 top guys in the league right now.
Yeah. Although this is a different question, which guy do you think means more to his team right now?
I think it's Joe Burrow. I think it's Joe Burrow, and I was gonna mention this earlier, but I knew we were having this question. This team, like I said, was they had the first pick a few years ago, not Joe Burrow. I don't think the Bengals would be anything without Joe Burrow. I think the Chiefs with Andy Reid in that offense with Chad Henne could do more than any kind of backup for the Bengals could do.
Fair.
I think Joe Burrow means that much to the Bengals. I just think you watch him and you just have, he has confidence, you have confidence, and you kind of don't have really a doubt that you're going to lose.
Right.
And yeah, of course the Bengals are going to lose games, but anytime number 9 for the Bengals goes out in the field, you feel like you're going to win the game. Because, I don't think I've ever seen or heard a quarterback be this confident. So, you get your receivers, you get your corners.
Yeah, the yappers.
But I don't really remember seeing a quarterback hearing about a quarterback since Joe Namath saying, yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That cocky.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, when he goes out on the field, he's just got like this.
He's Joe Cool. He's the new Joe Cool.
He's Joe Cool, and
Yeah.
I know, old heads like your dad hate hearing Joe Cool because there's only one Joe Cool.
Right.
Just like there's only one LT. It's not LaDainian Tomlinson. It's Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
But he is a cool customer, and he's got these really pearly white teeth, and I'm pretty sure are veneers 'cause they look too perfect, but I love them anyways. You can't count Joe Burrow out, even clearly against the Chiefs,
Right.
because the Chiefs.
3-0.
He's 3-0 against Mahomes.
Crazy.
The only other person that could say that is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well, not 3-0, but has beaten Mahomes more than Mahomes has beaten them.
Right.
I think Mahomes got them. Was it last year or 2 years ago against the Buccaneers? They beat them.
Oh, in the regular season.
I mean, Brady's beating him when it matters.
Right.
In the playoffs, just kind of like how Burrow has. But I'm saying it's Joe Burrow. The dude's just, he's a baller. I can't explain it. I wish I could explain it more. And I wish I could make people understand what I'm saying, how I feel when I say it.
Yeah.
He's just a baller.
I think I agree with you on the factor of he means more to the resurgence of their franchise. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think to like the team right now, I think Mahomes means more because Burrow's got playmakers all over the field. And not that Mahomes doesn't have some playmakers, but he doesn't have Tyreek Hill anymore. He's got Travis Kelce, who's the best tight end in the league. But after that, they're not the names that we're used to seeing.
Okay.
That
You're right.
him have at his disposal.
So Jamar Chase for Joe Burrow. Trajectory as of right now, it's very early.
Yeah.
Of being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Very, very early to see that. Travis Kelce to me is already in the Hall of Fame.
For sure.
Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame coach for sure.
Yeah.
The Bengals coach, it's still very early.
Right.
So I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's just Mahomes loves 87. It's kind of like Tom Brady loved his 87 too.
Right.
It's just it's an 80. It's an
Something about that number.
It's an 87 thing.
Something about that number. It looks good, like in the middle of the field.
It does. It's just that big white dude is always up there.
Right.
But no, don't get me wrong. Mahomes, he's Mahomes. He's also that dude.
Yeah. It would be funny to see. So we talked about the line moving as much as it did. It started at -2.5 Chiefs, went all the way to -2.5 Bengals with the injury situation with Mahomes.
Yeah.
Now it's back to -1 in favor of the Chiefs. If Burrow was on that side of the injury, how much would the needle move?
Yeah.
It's funny to think about those possibilities, but no, I don't think you could actually have a wrong answer in this situation.
I mean, I think I would be ecstatic with any of these guys
Right.
on the team. I mean, clearly.
And I think some of the playmaking that Mahomes will do, not necessarily running, but with his feet, moving out of the pocket, extending plays. Burrow is not unathletic, but he doesn't do that the same way that Mahomes does.
Yeah, Mahomes makes the plays you see on SportsCenter Top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow just wins the games.
Exactly.
He does what he has to do to win the games. And I'll take either or because they both win more games than they lose, which is cool with me.
Right.
But Joe Burrow, it's just, for how boring he is as a player, he's just got that swag, though.
He does, yeah.
Like, can you imagine Patrick Mahomes having the Joe Burrow swag? It would just be an overload.
Yeah, because Mahomes has kind of got, like, nerdy is maybe not the right word, but he's just not, like...
He's like that monotone voice at the podium.
Right.
Joe Burrow, he just kind of walks in, he kind of laughs at himself. I saw him at the podium a few days ago, and he's rocking a number 8, like practice jersey on accident. And then some guy was like, "Oh, did you guys switch numbers out there or something?" He looks down, and he literally just starts belly laughing, like he's like, kind of embarrassed by it. So like when he's up there, he just doesn't really care, you know. And Mahomes is definitely more like a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, by the book.
Right.
And I respect that too. I think as an organization, you want that, kind of like how Dak Prescott is. Same kind of thing, you're just kind of by the book, say the right thing.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, he says the right thing. He's not too cocky, but he also, he kind of like, it's almost like he's flirting with the people he's talking to,
Yeah.
He's a cool cat, man. He is a cool customer. I really need Garrett to get a Joe Burrow LSU jersey. He's got to get one.
With the EAUX
purple. He's already a closet Vikings fan, so I know he liked the purple.
Yeah, right. Okay, separate question: is it too early to take Burrow over Patrick Mahomes as just a player?
Yeah, I think it's too early.
You gotta give him a ring first. What if he beats him in this game?
Well, I was gonna say that's a little different.
Yeah.
If he beats him again,
but then loses in the Super Bowl.
Mahomes
Loses to the Niners in the Super Bowl
to,
after Mahomes beat him a few years ago. Taking it to another level.
Don't even get me started on the whole Bengals Niners thing because you know how I am. It's happened in the past. It's probably gonna happen again. Patrick Mahomes is still the better player because he does have the MVP. He's gonna probably get the second MVP this year. He has the Super Bowl MVP. On paper, you got to pick Mahomes. And I would hate for Joe Burrow to be the type of Dan Marino, even though Dan Marino probably has had won MVPs at this point of his career, or something close like that. Because Dan Marino had that season, I think, when he played the Niners in the Super Bowl, that he threw for
he broke some records.
like 40, almost 5,000 yards back then. That was unheard of.
And the Niners waxed him.
So it'd be cool if Joe Burrow got back, but I don't want the Bengals to go. I'd rather the Chiefs go, especially if the Niners win. Sorry, it's just how
Which
it
we'll
is.
know at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You think the ankle's a big factor, minor factor, non-factor, minor factor?
Minor factor.
Yeah.
Has to be a factor.
Yeah, I think his mobility has. I mean, he I don't know if you've seen the footage of him walking around. He actually looks like he's not hobbled at all. But
I don't think.
We'll see.
I think it'd be.
if he's 100%, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
There's no way he's going to be 100%.
There's no way you could say it's a non-factor because it is a factor.
Right.
It happened last week.
Right.
You know, if that's one of us, we have a boot on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
This dude just built different.
All right. Yeah, these athletes, they heal a lot faster than average people.
Yeah, no kidding.
Any other keys to victory outside the quarterbacks?
Chiefs. You know, like we said, Travis Kelce connection. That's always a winning recipe for them.
Right.
For the Bengals, Jamar Chase heavy, even though he's probably going to be doubled. Joe Mixon, probably get to him a lot. Maybe Samaje P. Ryan, kind of work them both in there.
I think the Bengals need to run the ball well because we saw them not run the ball well against the Ravens and
They
almost lose that game. So I think if they don't run the ball well, it's it could be tough sledding.
I feel this way. I feel the way about the Chiefs like you do about the Eagles against the Niners. I feel like the Chiefs could just roll this game.
They could. I mean, we saw them get out to a huge lead last year and just kind of choke it away.
Yeah.
And I could certainly see that again. Although I think this Bengals defense is probably better than the one they had last year. Mm-hmm. Not a terribly different team, but they're a much better defense. Should be a good one. I feel like you don't always get this, but this feels like the four best teams left.
And I meant to mention that because as much as I wanted the Cowboys to win, they would have been. And as much as I wanted to see Dak versus Jalen Hurts, because we didn't see that all year.
Yeah.
The Niners are clearly the second or first best team, and the Cowboys were clearly the third best team in the NFC.
Although if they had beaten the 49ers, you could say they proved that they are that team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But these are probably the four best teams.
Yeah.
At
Which is
this
great.
point.
Which is why you got these close lines.
Exactly.
Shall we make some picks?
Yeah.
Gage, you're going first this week.
I'm not letting you pick your Niner. I'm not letting you hedge any kind of Niner picks. I know how you are. You're superstitious. And I know you picked that again.
So who are you taking?
Niners plus 2.5.
Oh, all right.
I'll hedge it for you.
There you go. Let's see. Bengals or Chiefs? I'm taking the Chiefs -1.
Yeah.
I like them to bounce back after last year. I know, the Mahomes ankle thing, it'll be a little bit of a factor, but I think he's looked pretty good in the footage that we've seen. Should be all right.
Have you kept our records for
the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are 3-2. I'm 1-4
There we go.
in the playoffs.
At least I'm winning at something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe for a Super Bowl pick, we'll just flip a coin for who gets the pick.
That's fair. Yeah. So I have a couple other NFL notes real quick. Did I mention the Chiefs hosting their 5th straight AFC
That's
Championship?
pretty wild.
That's getting to like Tom Brady Patriots territory
Yeah.
right there. Also, they're talking about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets.
I did hear about it.
Does this man want to be Brett Favre?
I know, right?
You're telling me he's like...
And then he's going to go to the Vikings.
He's going to the Vikings too, right? I love that Colin Cowherd tweet. It was a pretty good Photoshop picture of Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey. And also, Joe Namath, I read this on something, I don't know if he actually said this, but he said that he'd be willing to let Aaron Rodgers wear his number 12. Because his number 12 is retired by the Jets.
Interesting.
But what Colin Cowherd said is, what was the exact? He said, "How come Aaron Rodgers looks?
He just looks less talented in this jersey,
less talented in the Jets
or this uniform." Yeah.
And in his defense, he's not really wrong.
Yeah.
So
the Jets uniforms, they fucked him up.
I don't mind the helmet.
I don't like the helmet personally.
Do you think they look better like in the Mark Sanchez days?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're just much cleaner. These uniforms they wear now look like their college uniforms.
They also have the big lettering like how the Jags and the
a little bit, yeah. They're not New York. Like the Giants have New York uniforms.
Yeah, you know who does not fuck up their uniforms? The New York Giants.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're smart.
Exactly.
And they've had those same uniforms forever.
Yeah.
You go back to 2000 when they lost the Super Bowl against the Ravens. They were in the same uniforms.
Exactly.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have for the NFL. Championship Sunday. Is this the best weekend of football? NFL? Is this, like, what do you get most?
It's hard to beat. Obviously, the Super Bowl is cool, but
and I'll say team put our teams aside. Like what weekend? Weekend of the football season are you most excited to watch?
I think this is number one because you get two massive games, two games where teams have a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
It's hard to beat. I mean, the Super Bowl is special, but I don't just look forward to the Super Bowl. Like, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, of course.
And this is kind of like what it boils down to, and here we are. The Panthers, they hired Frank Reich as head coach.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really care, to be honest.
I think he's fine. He's fine, exactly.
Like, him getting fired was kind of a weird situation, and then bringing in someone clearly unqualified to replace him. But I guess good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Clearly the Panthers wanted an offensive coach.
I am glad you mentioned. I knew you wouldn't forget because. So Scott Rowland, third baseman.
Yep.
Third baseman. He made it to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I gotta ask, do you think he was well deserved to make this?
Well deserved.
Do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
I feel like personally I have a tighter view of who should be in and who shouldn't, because like I'm not huge on Craig Biggio being in the Hall of Fame. Craig Biggio was a very good player, happened to play for a lot of seasons, which is not a knock, but accumulated
He had
numbers
3,000 hits
because he played in like 2,400 games. I think Scott Rowland was a very good player. I like that they honored a guy who was a glove first guy, but was a very good hitter as well. Mm-hmm. I don't hate that he's a Hall of Famer. He was one of those guys that when I was growing up, he was somewhat of a star in the league. Mm-hmm. But it's also a weird era of Hall of Fame voting because of all the steroid allegations that were associated with the era that we're talking about. So
see, I don't know anything about him really. I may have heard the name, but like I listened to The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
And Rob Parker is a Hall of Fame voter, and he absolutely ripped this.
Really?
Because he's like it's not the Hall of Fame or the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame.
Right. I mean, sometimes there is a little bias against guys that you just saw play, and you're just like, yeah, they were really good, but I don't know if they were Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But I mean, Scott Rowland was a really good player. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but hey, people voted him in. I don't want to take that away from him.
Yeah.
By any means.
Well, I want to get your opinion because you are the baseball guy.
Yeah.
And I know you saw this and you probably looked at his stats again and see.
I did. Yeah, and he had a good run, but not like a dominant. It was far from dominant. Mm-hmm. But not every Hall of Famer was always dominant.
7-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glover, won the World Series in 06, 97 Rookie of the Year.
It's a pretty solid resume.
The 8-time Gold Glove is what really sticks out the most for me.
Yeah. Only the 18th third baseman, I think, to ever get in. So, I mean, I guess...
Played for Philly, St. Louis, Toronto, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, won his World Series with the Cardinals.
So, congrats.
Yeah. Good for you, Scott. No. Also, the NBA All-Star starters were announced today.
Yes.
In the West, we got LeBron as the captain, Zion, Williamson, Jokic, Steph, Luka all made it.
Hey, your boy Steph.
Yeah, not terribly shocking.
9-time All-Star now.
Yeah, 9 times.
9 times.
I think he's been a starter every time as well.
LeBron's got 19 now.
Crazy.
It's outrageous.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
Over in the East, Giannis is going to be your captain. Joining him is Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and Donovan Mitchell.
Really
First-time
cool.
starter.
Really cool. Donovan Mitchell's going to be in this game. 'Cause this game's going to be in Utah.
That's right.
Hopefully he gets a good, warm welcome.
I would like to think so. I don't think he really was a guy that forced his way out of there.
No.
It was kind of a rebuild situation, and they found a move for him.
And did you see it? The way they're doing the draft for this.
They're doing it like hours before the game.
Yeah, like right before the game.
I think it's kind of cool.
I think it's kind of cool too. Hopefully they got to televise it, right?
Yeah.
But TNT will probably be all over that.
Oh
Because TNT always does the All-Star game.
yeah.
Yes. So based off these starting fives, who would you pick in a 7-game series?
Let's see. Man. Probably go West. Be tough.
East is long though. They got Giannis, KD, and Tatum. Like, what's the wingspan on those three
Right.
guys?
The only one that's, and I know Jokic is a 2-time MVP, but he could be liability on defense. The least athletic player on the team, on the two teams. But I just like the thought of Steph and LeBron on the same team.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, is Luka your third most important player? And then you got Zion in the dunker spot.
Zion's a ham in it.
Yeah. I mean, both teams will be pretty nasty. Obviously, this is
All-Star
All-Star teams.
All-Star game will be February.
Well, the
5th?
day before we leave.
Shit. Can I say this right now? We cannot be hungover. The flight that we
Oh, hell no, I ain't
we
drinking
can't.
on Sunday.
We can't.
No.
No way. Not a chance. I
Okay.
don't even want to drink one beer and get tempted.
LaCroix, dude. LaCroix all day.
Drink the water.
Yeah.
Not too much though, because I want to piss all day. I'm
Right,
playing.
right. You ready for the end of this button? Do you have anything else before last call?
No, I don't. But you know what? I do got this though.
Where'd you find that?
I got it at work.
Oh, you... Wait, really?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
It's a drink, please.
It's back.
It's back.
That's hilarious.
Well, so I don't want to get rid of this.
Right.
But I was, strolling through work because I'm not. I do the clothes. I go through all the clothes.
Sure.
It sounds really boring. Kind of is. I got the radio that helps.
Yeah.
And sometimes at like 4:30 when we close, or kind of more like 4:45 when we kind of done doing the trash and all that. I'll kind of stroll through the annex and the front room, just kind of see what we got going on.
Yeah.
Like people like my mom who work there go through all like this kind of stuff, like price everything, like the glassware and the dishware and things like this. And so I'm walking around and I see this. I'm like, dude, this is the
Is
bell.
it? It's the same
It's
one.
the same one.
Yeah.
Not the exact. I mean, it's not the same one,
Right.
but it's
The same thing.
It's-
Same product.
it's black and orange. It says "Drink Please." And
That's amazing.
luckily, so at work we have our bins that we put things that we want to buy. And luckily, I went through it today, and I kind of forgot I had this in there. I'm like, oh, I'm buying this today.
Fuck yeah.
It was only $1.
That's
you know?
hilarious.
So I was walking by, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. I'm like, I'm buying this. Like, there's no way I can't buy this. So I had to bring that back.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it great?
It's come full circle.
It's here.
It's here.
Drink, please. I will.
So what time is it?
It's time for last call.
Ooh, that was nice.
I had that hidden next to my foot this whole time. I thought you didn't see it.
Nice. Good for you.
Wait, where'd you get that?
Bracket challenge update. Nick and I are still perfect.
Nice.
Who'd have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
I didn't realize you picked the Bengals. Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I switched that pick a couple times, but I stuck
And
with
you
Bengals.
and Nick, like we said, have the same bracket.
Same exact bracket. Yeah.
So if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl against the Niners, you guys are going to win the money.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, it'll come down to the tiebreaker. Like, we'll both be first and second. Second place obviously gets the $30. So it'll come down to the score of the game, if that's the case. At this point, Ethan, Danny, and Dylan are the only other contestants still alive for first place. Ethan has the Eagles winning it all, I believe, over the Chiefs.
And I also have the Chiefs beating the Niners.
But if the Chiefs beat the Niners, obviously me and Nick are
Oh, right. Yeah, gotcha.
Danny has the Niners beating the Chiefs, and Dylan has the Niners beating the Bengals.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So, yeah. Got anything for last call?
Yeah, but I want you to say what you want to say first.
So I hope everyone saw this, because I think it's comical.
And this was about last week, so we're kind of late on this
We're a
news,
little
but
late.
we,
Yeah. I want to say might have been over the weekend. I can't remember.
we do this weekly, so we can only do this so
Right.
much.
But Shannon Sharp got into it with, I believe, Dylan Brooks of the Memphis Grizzlies.
It was
It was a little combination of other players, I think,
that
as well.
and John Morant's dad,
Yeah.
too.
Which they hugged it out after the game. But Shannon Sharp was sitting courtside at the Lakers-Grizzlies game and acting like he was a part of the Lakers team. I don't know. But to me, Shannon Sharp has gotten so overly invested in being a LeBron, I don't even want to say the words I'm about to say, but dick rider, if you will, that he's acting like he is a part of the Lakers franchise. It's fucking hilarious.
First thing I'm going to say is, say it to his face. Because the dude looks like he can still catch 50 passes a
Hey,
season.
that's okay.
Second thing I'm going to say is, do you think any of this is for Undisputed clout? Like for his show Undisputed, like the clout for it?
Yeah,
so
maybe.
People will be like, because you already know, people are thinking, oh, what's Skip going to say the next day?
Right.
I got to tune in.
Well, there's
I gotta tune in.
definitely some desperation for some interest in that show.
But you know, in all seriousness, when Shannon Sharp talks shit to you, unless you're like Trent Williams,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you gonna say?
Right.
The dude was wearing like a cardigan, but he's seriously
he's
in great shape.
Yeah, he's a tank.
He is in great, and he obviously was in great shape when he played in the NFL. But who the fuck's gonna say anything to that guy and
Right.
really think he can kick his ass? John Morant's dad would have got his ass smoked
Yeah.
if he would have tried to even throw a fade
Yeah.
to Shannon Sharp. Wasn't gonna happen.
No.
But I understand. He can't be acting like this. If this was one of us doing that, we would have been kicked out.
Oh yeah,
instantly.
easily. Yeah, which is why it's like kind of cringy to watch. It's like just because he's not associated with the NBA at all.
No,
He
just
played football.
he
He's a fan, and he's acting like this on the sideline.
he loves LeBron James.
Yeah. I think it's, I don't know, it's hilarious, cringy, all of the above, but I thought it had to be mentioned.
I think we were DMing about it on Twitter, and you're like, I have this saved for last call.
Yeah.
So, okay. So last thing I'm going to say, and I think it's right that I mentioned this last. Today marks 3 years since Kobe Bryant and his daughter died, and we've said this before. We both correlate this podcast, the beginning of this podcast, with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Because he had passed away, I think, a couple weeks before we started the podcast?
No, it was months, because we did, our first podcast was in June, but it was the same year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big topic on the first episode. I don't remember what spurred the conversation. I think I purchased that book, which I don't know exactly where it is right now, but
Yeah.
I purchased that book, and it just became a topic of conversation on the show.
It's just hard to believe it's been 3 years. You know, like we were talking about earlier in our group chats, that I remember I was, hungover on your couch, and I think you're the one who said it. I think you're like, dude, it came out, and you're like, I think Kobe Bryant died.
Yeah, I think actually Ashley had called me. She was at work, and she called me when I was in bed, and then I
You
came
came
out.
out.
You guys were on the couch, kind of
We're-
watching the news or something, maybe. Yeah.
I think we were just chilling. I don't even think I knew the news yet, really. And then, TMZ broke the news, and
Yeah.
it was crazy to think about. And it's crazy it's already been 3 years. And I also don't want to forget about the 7 other people who died in the helicopter crash
Right.
too, because there were 7 others. It's easy to just say, "Oh, Kobe and Gigi died,"
Right.
because they're the big name, Hall of Fame player, his daughter, and all that. But there
Right.
also were 7 other casualties in that helicopter crash. I don't know their names. I guess I could have written them down and said it, but I apologize for that. But I want to acknowledge I want to just say rest in peace to all 9 people who died in that tragic helicopter crash
Yeah. No,
3 years ago today. So I want to raise
No,
my
yeah.
drink to them Cheers. We miss you all. Stuff.
And on that note,
And on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We always appreciate you. Hopefully we did well enough for you today, even though we are
not our A game.
playing a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
So, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
One more episode before France.
Yes.
Peace.